regardless of who tries to alleviate their tension. Phase 2, standover phase. The batterer's physical strength and the realistic and frightening threats to harm the victim and or their family members will leave the victim feeling that there is no way out without repercussions. Phase 3, explosive phase. A violent outburst will occur, and this can be verbal and or physical. Usually the victim will experience several episodes of verbal attacks prior to a physical attack. Phase 4, remorse phase. The batterer may feel guilty, ashamed, and or afraid of the consequences of their violent outburst, but they will not take responsibilities for their actions or comments and will place blame solely on the victim and or the victim's family members or friends. Phase 5 is the pursuit phase. This phase is also known as the buyback phase. The batterers will become everything to the victim that they would like to see in a perfect relationship. They will give them anything that they have wanted for, they have wished for, and show all the love, attention, and promise the world if only the victim will take them back. And all will change with that relationship. The victim usually will go back, depending on the family dynamics, wanting to believe the promise of change and that the batterer will never harm them again. If the victim remains strong and refuses to go back into the relationship, which usually happens after a number of outbursts or where the legal system becomes involved and leaving the victim no choice in the matter, the batterer can become even more threatening and making life as difficult as possible for the victim. This is the phase a majority of the domestic murders occur. The victim may solely return out of fear for themselves and their children and their family. Phase 6 is the honeymoon phase. If a reconciliation occurs, there will be a temporary change in the dynamics of the family, in the relationship. The batterer will be bending over backwards for the victim to show that they can change and they can make this change. And the victim is trying hard to hold on to the hope that this really is going to work, and the batterer will no longer harm them and everything will be fine. Unfortunately, the honeymoon phase will end and the cycle of violence will reoccur and continue. The issue of control and power reappears and the relationship weakens again with the outbursts and the abuse returning. This cycle will continue to go round and round until the victim permanently removes themselves from the relationship. This step of removal or detachment is the most important and the most beneficial one for the victim and those surrounding the victim. The decision to remove oneself requires a lot of support and strength from an outer circle of individuals in the victim's life, both personal and professional. But yet that is only one very small step on the road to recovery because of the abuse which has been suffered. There are many individuals in this world who suffer abuse on a daily basis, which can fall into the category that is termed domestic violence. The relationship does not have to result in a husband-wife, boyfriend-girlfriend correlation. Abuse can be right within a family's dynamics, between parents, children, and grandchildren. Abuse are those that we are loved on a daily basis, those who have given life to us, those who have raised us, nurtured us, and provided a role model for us. The effects of abuse can be passed down from generation to generation in a family setting when no one realizing what these effects have and continue to create within a family structure. Whether the family is the first family of our nation or a family who has no home. Abuse is not picky as to who the victim is, and the potential batterer may not even realize that the result of their language, actions, or lack of, or just a simple way of communication can dramatically affect an individual's growth as to what is acceptable and respectable. These type of learned behaviors can lead to what is known as a narcissistic personality, and that the individual is completely unaware of their learned actions, thus leaving a trail of abuse behind them. Parenting skills and practices have dramatically changed even from 25 years ago, and and to what is within the acceptable range without infringing on abusive behaviors or patterns. So what may have been the norm 25 years ago is now outdated in today's acceptable practices. There are many experts in this field with many different opinions, judgments, and points of views as for what the term abuse means. Yet abuse is abuse. And if an individual feels that there is something wrong within their situations, chances are there is. Thank you.